Peace and Islam. Welcome unto the Amexem-Moor-Empire, Department for the Communications, Moore's Internet Televideo Network, or M.I.T.N for short. Today's date for the record is Peace Day, 4th of Karusima, the year 301, 629 on the Amexem-Moor calendar. On behalf of the Imperial Broadcasting Agency, M.I.T.N, I am your noble, Tinawat Il, serving as the lead broadcast agent, video agent, Islam. I shall be your hostess for this broadcast segment. Tonight's segment is segment 2, and we're going to call it the elephant in the room. Basically addressing confusion based on intentional separation of our kins and kindreds all across the waters, Islam. So we're coming back to our segment, His Imperial Majesty's Imperial Constitutional Monarch and Enenu Elbe. Welcome back, Your Imperial Majesty.
Islam Nuwatina. Happy to be here again.
It's in Islam. Welcome back. All right, so tonight's topic, intentional confusion upon our kins and kindreds, or intentional confusion and separation, Islam.
Intentional confusion and separation of our kith and kindred.
Islam.
There are many factors that go into, I think you called it the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Our kith and kindred, because of external and also because of internal agendas, find our kith and kindred as a rule find themselves divided along what I refer to as artificial barriers. Some use language, some use quote unquote religion, or other irrelevant tricks and schemes to treat each other as other, outsiders, as those to compete with as opposed to collaborate with. Some of our kith and kindred across this planet were enslaved. Some of our kith and kindred fought wars amongst themselves, and basically the men that they fought against, that they captured, they sold to outsiders who took them across an ocean. A few, not as many as folks have been lied to about. And folks started to treat some of these victims, these prisoners of war, as others. Treated that way on both sides of the ocean to a degree. Parties have been so pained that they go to great lengths to separate themselves from being associated with the kith and kindred, no matter what side of the ocean that they're on. They will have hair as cold as yours, skin tones as dark as yours, and fail to see that there is a connection. I don't care what your haplogroup is. Your haplogroups on this planet derive from one haplogroup, haplogroup L. Haplogroup L is not on this side of the ocean. Haplogroup L originates on the other side of the ocean. That will be the father and mother to the offspring everywhere else on the planet that looks like you and I. So when parties want to separate along particular lines, they are fooling themselves or allowing themselves to be fooled by those who want to keep them in a particular space. If you have a giraffe which comes from the Alkebulan and the Abzu, and you transport that giraffe across an ocean, if you happen to have another giraffe transported across that ocean and they mate, and you have a giraffe calf or whatever you call it, baby giraffe, that giraffe was mated and brought onto this planet at a zoo, thousands of miles from where they originate from. However, their point of origin does not change. Where they will manifest on the planet has nothing to do with their origin. So when parties want to get into the mentally retarded discussion about they're not from the Alkebulan and the Abzu, well, you can tell it lie to your blue in the face. However, your origin is always going to be the Alkebulan and the Abzu. Where you domicile may have changed, but your origin never changes. And that's the issue. Parties lose the point of view that's accurate here. Meaning they forget that where you originate and your domicile is two separate and distinct things. Now, you want to say you don't domicile in the Alkebulan? Well, technically you would be correct. Your origin is forever the Alkebulan and the Abzu. So parties using that to separate, that's a false notion. If they really want to be technical about it, it gets even uglier for them on that particular point. Because in North Amexem, you had the realm of Her Majesty Califia. Her Majesty had our kith and kindred that were west of her, and a very large island. That island called Lemuria. Anyone telling you that the word Moor comes from the Greek moros or the Roman mori is lying. The term is over 100 Earth years in existence. These were the inhabitants of Lemuria. And Lemuria sunk over 100,000 Earth years ago. And when Lemuria sunk, the inhabitants went east and they went west. Those that went west, you would see certain maps of misnomer so-called China that have Mu on it, because those from Lemuria went there. And the rest of them went east of Lemuria, which is going towards Califia. And they were referred to as the Moors, M-U-U-R, Mu. Why? Because Mu literally means those from the far, far west. Far, far west of where? Califia. Well, who were the original folks in Lemuria? That's going to take you back to the Alkebulan and the Abzu, to Congo Sheba, quote unquote DRC, the Mosuli. There goes that MO again, Mo, Islam Mo. They left from there and went to some now called Uganda, and migrated their way to what is Lemuria. You were Aboriginal all over this landmass. And when you have books like The Lost Continent of Mu by Colonel Churchwood, they're gonna lay out for you Lemuria in the book. Now, that book is older. Yeah, more up-to-date books now. I haven't read all those books, to be honest and to be fair about it. However, you will find the connection of the Mosuli. You cannot discuss Moors without discussing Lemuria. You cannot discuss Lemuria without discussing the Mosuli. That's Congo Sheba. Well, those from Siberia. Oh, you mean those folks that were mixed in with the Jomon? The Jomon were Eurasian. They come from the mother continent, and the Eurasians are so-called Turkic, and the Turkic, actually, we are the original Turks. Try again. You're going to lose that argument 9 times out of 9. So even if you tried the quote-unquote land bridge scenario, you're still going to be tied back to our Kibalan Negev Zoo. There is no separation, only mental retardation by those who choose to engage in that, because they're too short-sighted to realize that parties would like to see you separated. Because if you mess around and you combine your economic might, as some would call it, or as we would say, your commerce and trade might, would be immeasurable. Within the Amexem-Moor-Empire, because the operations are underway on 4 continents and 1 island chain, we are in fact combined. And we speak 21 different languages and dialects. We don't do the artificial barrier thing. Don't care if someone is Christian, Catholic. Don't care if they are Buddhist. Don't care if they're Seventh-day Adventist. I don't care if they are Muslim. I don't care if they're Wahhabi, Sunni Orthodox. Don't care if they're Shia. Not my business. Has nothing to do with who we are as Moors. I'm Buddhist, I'm Taoist, I'm this, I'm that. Mess with them and they're Chinese. At the end of the day, we're Moors. I don't care if you pray to a rock or to a fish. We're still Moors. Same blood on the big old same ball of mud. This planet. We were the dominant before, and we are rising into dominance now. And we shall rise faster when this foolishness of separation, the elephant in the room, when this nonsense is all shut down. And we shut down on our own terms, mindset by mindset, household by household, familyhood by familyhood, continent by continent, living who we say we are. We train, we read, we're reading intensive. We grab material and we use that material through the various vantage points of our 12 departments and 39 sub-departments for our organic diplomacy and governance. And we use our commonalities that we have amongst us as the basis. I don't care if you speak Creole or Patois, Minakir. I don't care if you speak Guarani, Dagbani, Serer, Seperi, Kalenjin, Swahili, Morabia, or quote-unquote Arabic, Algonquin, or Siouan. Don't care if you speak Tamil or Marathi. I don't care if you speak Edo or Hausa. I don't care if you speak Fusa Arabic. You speak Walla? Same blood on the same big old ball of mud. One big family on my watch. And separation is done when folks choose to grow up. The days of ignorance are done when folks choose to deal with the worst enemy they have. That's the one in the mirror. It's time to let it go. They choose to let it go. We can all come together and we win. Not all are prepared to do that. Not all are willing to do that. Not all are going to do that. That's them. As for us, we're already doing it. They either catch up or they don't. We're already doing it. They either flow with us or they don't. We're going to be fine either way. That's why I had to answer your question as you asked it, Noble Tina. Do you have a follow-on question for me?
Peace and Islam. My only follow-up question was, what literature would you recommend regarding this topic? But I believe you went through some of them already. So you can reiterate just for reference, Islam.
All right. Well, again, there are many books on our book list, 149 of them to be exact. I, as a rule, give you those books 20 at a time, depending on how fast each national goes through the book list. I give them in a particular order. And the reason for this is to concentrate their growth in particular areas that they use to escalate up, that they use to evolve, to expand, to have a broader peripheral instead of the tunnel vision. So as they go through the book list, as all of you go through the book list, you get your legs about you. So you started out when you first amalgamated crawling, then you learn to stand, and then you learn to walk, and then you learn to run. I'll give you an example of what I mean. On our book list, should I read Golden Ages and Moors first? Don't do that. No? Moors in Spain, Moors after Spain, and then you read Golden Ages and Moors. If you read all three books, you'll thank me later. You'll see why you do it in that particular order. Should I read The Cave before Columbus? No. Ramesses III, father of ancient America. Rafik Jersboy, read that book first. Then you read They Came Before Columbus. And then you read African presence in early America. African presence in early Europe. African presence in early Asia. Saga America, America BC by Barry Fell. You want to read those books in that order I just gave them for a much greater appreciation. As a student of Dr. Ben, you see what I'm getting at. He wasn't doctor at first. He was Professor Ivan Van Sertima. When he became doctor, he was already tenured and he was doing things when he wrote They Came Before Columbus. He went a different route than Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark. Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark sacrificed for all of us. They got kicked out of every college and university they were professors at because they would not shut up on our behalf. Dr. Van Sertima wasn't going to go that route. He wanted to be published. So he played the game with the colonizing hostiles until he got to a particular point when they did a second printing on his book that came before Columbus. And then he went to work. So when they came before Columbus, he's actually attacking Rafik Jersboy's works. And then in African presence in early America, he took it back. I don't agree with what he did. I don't like what he did. I know why he did it. He wanted to be published and get paid. He didn't want to struggle like Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark did. That's why he did that. So he said, I'm going to make up for what I did, because I knew it was a snake move. He wrote a lot of books. He went in on the books he was editing. Working with Runoko Rashidi and Wayne Chandler, Professor Scobie, Dr. Shashi McIntyre, Dr. Jose Pimento Bay, and so many of the great ones, Professor Smalls, all these giants. He brought a lot of things to the fore. And going to State Theater and listening to all these lectures and going to First World Uptown to the lectures, going to a Very Dempsey Center back in the day to the lectures. I miss those days. I'm here to tell you, though, there's a lot of power in the accounts of the annals, quote unquote history.
Mm-hmm.
We say the accounts of the annals or more story. There is a lot in there. And we have it. Use that knowledge, wisdom, and comprehension to overcome the artificial barriers. There's no need for the artificial barriers. Those days are over. It's done. It's time to move on. I'm going to leave my comments there, Noble Tina. Peace, love, and light in Islam.
Islam, I thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
The time to answer my questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure this will help a lot of our kins and kindreds on both sides of the ocean, because this topic is hot, as they say, and it's all over the place, and it's time to put rest to it. So I thank you for your contribution in leading in this movement.
Islam.
Islam. Gratitude. To our listeners, I thank you for your time. You could have been anywhere else, but you took the time to listen into our segment, so we thank you for that. For more information regarding Amexem-Moor-Empire, the Imperial Government operations is available through our website, a website that we influence. That website is modernmoormonarchy.squarespace.com. That website, once again, modernmoormonarchy.squarespace.com. We thank you for your time. We appreciate any feedback, positive comments, and we thank you for your time. Peace and Islam.